this moody backlight thing might be a terrible idea in the long run, but for the moment, I'm gonna try it. I'm editing right now, more specifically, I'm transcribing. If you don't know what that is, it's the process of taking an interview or footage with a lot of dialogue and writing down with timecode everything that was said in that clip. In this case, it's going to be probably about 4 hours worth of interview that I need to sit and type out. Now, why would I do this to myself and decide to sit down and manually type out 4, maybe 5 hours worth of footage? I'm about to tell you. Last summer, I finished a cut of a short film about my transition. More specifically, it is my parents' retelling of my transition. I sat them down in my living room and interviewed them. We talked about everything from how they got together, to how I was born, to when I first came out to them, to a little bit about where I am today. And I cut it together for a class. I included some B-roll of their reactions to watching old family videos and going through old photos. I also included some of those photos and videos. I got feedback on the edit, which was overwhelmingly positive. Went back and got some interviews with neighbors about the experience, some footage of home, another interview with my dad, cut it together again, and screened it at my internship. And overwhelmingly, the feedback was that it was a great piece, but it wasn't done. So I sat on it, and I looked at it, I sat on it, and I looked at it again, and I did that for really up until now, so about a year. I played around with switching up the order of some of the sections, adding bits of B-roll, adding one-liners here and there, adding other sections of the interview, taking away bits and pieces, but nothing was making it feel like a completed scene. Until just the other day, when I realized I have a lot more footage of my parents than I was working with. If you go back into the depths of my YouTube channel, you will see that I have been uploading stuff on here for about 4 years, since 2013. And by extension, that means I have been making videos that include my parents every now and then for 4 years. Some of it is just little bits and pieces of saying hello to them or filming something that they're doing that day. I also have more interviews, one in particular with my mom. I have a bit of a radio show I did with both of them, and also some footage of around the time of my top surgery when they went with me to appointments and checkups and things like that. So I'm going back to the drawing board, basically completely scrapping the scene that I had with them initially and writing down and taking notes on absolutely everything I have with them. Once I have that foundation, I think I will know where I need to go next. I've realized just through going through the beginning of this footage that this story is a lot more than just a typical transition story. At the end of the day, I think it needs to be about my parents. My transition will not exist as it currently does without them. They are an integral, central part of the story. Initially, my idea was to tell the story of my transition through my parents, and I think it's become a lot more of telling a story about my parents through the vehicle of my transition. I really genuinely do not know where it's going to end up and how it's going to look, but I hope that it can provide a message of possibility to other parents who have kids who are going through something similar to what I did. Somebody told me once that when one person goes through a transition, everybody else transitions around them. And sometimes that means we fall apart and things crumble, and sometimes that means we all grow from it. And my parents absolutely grew from it and grew with me, and that was a really powerful experience. It's an experience I want to share. But first, I need to type out 4 hours of dialogue. This whole filmmaking process, I think, is going to be a bit of a journey of its own.